Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Juan and Patrick Show. I'm here joined without Patrick with Ricardo. So today is a Juan and Ricardo show today. Here's Ricardo.
Taking Patrick's place.
Exactly. Many of you may know Ricardo as the young man who is always outside of Bola, Ocho. Sometimes if you're drunk, sometimes if you're sober. But anyhow, I think the purpose today is I'm doing the show a little bit differently. I want to kind of just have a normal conversation with pillars of our community, people who have come from different backgrounds, of course, and do important stuff in our community. So this is Ricardo. And now, Ricardo, talk to me like if I don't know you. Who are you, first of all?
Well, my name is Ricardo.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, buddy. And what do you do? What do you do?
Everyone out there watching us. Basically, I'm one of the owners of Bola Ocho, which everyone knows, obviously, been there some point. We have, a few different things going on at the moment. We recently opened Sazon, a restaurant in Angel in North London, to do with all about Latin culture, so Latin food, Latin music, Latin-based drinks, Latin art as well, as we have our decoration. Our paintings come from a Colombian painter at the moment. So yeah, we just mostly working around things all to do with our Latin culture.
So slightly, just to put it in retrospect, is that you're quite an entrepreneurial person within the within the Latin community, because not only you got the restaurant, you've got Bola, you got the hotel as well, which I remember I didn't even step into that, where you've got quite a few things going on, and I think it's very important to highlight that. Especially in the fact that we may have a lot of people who do this as well within our community, but we're not aware of it. And I think it's truly inspirational to kind of highlight the fact that you do.
There is a lot of entrepreneurs here in the UK, Latinos, that, to be honest, with most of them that I've spoken with, that they're not very involved with the Latin community. Most of them are actually not involved with the Latin community because they try to stay away from the Latin community. Due to a lot of things, like, and not so much politics, but I don't know why, but there's always been this thing of, instead of helping each other, we try to, bring each other down.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know.
Ego and pride, man.
I don't know how that comes about, because to be honest, that doesn't help anyone.
Yeah.
When we help each other, that helps everyone. That benefit. Everyone will benefit from working together. But I think there is a lot of envy sometimes from certain people, because there's a lot of people out there that don't want to do anything, but they want to have everything. And it don't work like that. To have everything, you got to do everything. You got to work more than any a person in an average job if you want to have more than what they have. So a lot of people, their expectations are, funnily enough, odd, and so because they see all this envy, all these issues within the community, they try to build their businesses more into the British public and just in general with British customers and stuff like that. So there is a lot of entrepreneurs out there with companies, with multiple companies in different sectors that are Latinos, Colombianos, Peruanos, Ecuatorianos, Mexicanos. There's a lot of people out there, but they're not much involved with the community,
Right.
But yeah, there is a lot of success stories basically out there in our Latin community.
I need to find them. You need to introduce me to them.
I mean, one of them, one of the places where I found a lot of these people is in one of the companies that I'm part of, which is called LA United.
Yeah.
It's a company, it's about 100 and something entrepreneurs, and a lot of them have their companies, serving the British public in general, whether they are Latin customers or not. But there is a lot of them that don't necessarily work with the community, but they have multiple businesses, things like that, and they're definitely making it happen. It's very good for them out there.
This was founded recently in the pandemic time?
That company was founded in the just after the lockdown. I think after the second lockdown. It was the end of 2020. That was toward the end of 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been going on for like about 3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years now.
And this year they're gonna have one most likely.
There's a gala dinner every end of year.
I'll get my suit ready. I'll get my suit ready.
So the camera cut in the studio, and we had lost a bit of footage. So essentially, just to get you back into the convo, I started asking Ricardo about Bola and his career and how it started and how it all changed. So back to it.
How did I feel like were you a part of the whole changing of that whole scenario? Because how did that even fruition? Like, I want to know that journey, because obviously it's like the big part.
Yeah, well, basically, when I was in number one bar,
Yeah.
just before, like a year before I went into Bola Ocho, all we did there was, obviously, we have the pool tables upstairs, so there was a sports bar upstairs, but then downstairs was a restaurant that would turn into a nightclub. So I had the whole nightclub scene. We built that nightclub from scratch, from zero to having people like Sammy Sosa, the guys from Top Gear, and quite a few celebrities, maybe not like A-list or whatever, but we had some good celebrities coming down. So it built over 5 years, 6 years roughly. So when I left there, and then I started doing my own, like, as a consultant for bars, and I went into Bola Ocho and I did a year contract with them to start the consultancy there. I analyzed the business. He had a 6 a.m. license and everything, and he was in the Latino area and everything. Yeah. So, for me, the first thing was like, well, yeah, just
make it into a club.
Make it into a club. And it was a proper cultural, I think that we know, like, from in Colombia, from El Barrio, whatever, that, there'll be, and there'll be like a little sports bar with the pool tables and that, but then you just cover them, and then just people dance around it, and, very informal sort of thing, but something that for us is like, it's like a home thing.
Feels authentic.
It feels authentic. That's it. It's not a proper like nightclub with big lights and then shows and whatever. It was more of a
It's how it's like back home.
It's
literally like back home.
A thing back home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it came up around that, and they started working on it. And to be honest, it didn't take long to take off. It was like 8 months.
8 months in, it started
8 months
up.
to a year. We picked up. Big time.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't take more than a year.
And after that, it's been quite consistent, hasn't it?
Yeah. Even in the pandemic, the pandemic was difficult and everything.
How did you guys get through that?
Oh my, that was a headache.
Because obviously it was a sat down thing.
Yeah. Like to get Latinos to go party and don't dance. You can do that at the beginning of the night.
Yeah.
Y te entienden. Y ellos sí, tranquilo, no me paro. But 3 hours in,
that's not
2 bottles of aguardiente. People, they forget about it. They start dancing. Then you're like, sit down. It got to a point one day, around 4 a.m. that literally was, because it was risky, because if cancel came in, it was a problem. So you had to keep on top of people. Don't mix. You don't go to this table, but everybody knows each other.
I know you
can't dance with this table. You can't dance with that. You have to dance only 2 of you, and you can't move from where you're standing. And it was so difficult that it got to one day that it was kind of getting out of hand. And I remember it was like 3:30, 4 a.m. And I just got so pissed off that I was like, you know what? That's it. Let's close. I said, we're done for the night. I told people so many times, and I said on the microphone, listen, if you guys don't listen, we will close, because we can't risk the license. Like, the conditions right now with the pandemic and everything. But it got to a point that I was like, that's it. Like, shut the music down, turn the lights on, everyone go home.
We're done. Yeah.
Like, he's telling you all off, like, go home.
It's been like a teacher be like, nah, school's over.
Literally. It was. People are drinking. It's difficult to get them to listen to you at that point.
How are you finding it now, considering all things? Now that things are kind of way better now. You recently introduced now putting artists in and stuff like that. You're trying new things as well.
Yeah, definitely. The artist night, for example, is a nice thing that we started doing, which we do with Micah from All Stars.
Yeah,
she helps us organize that night, and it's a bit of what I've always wanted to do. Help our community, because I've always been up for anything that we can work on together, anything that we can help each other. Like, I help you today, you help me tomorrow, kind of thing. I'm of that kind of mentality, and I believe if we help each other in our community, we're gonna grow faster, stronger. Everything is gonna be better for us. So we started doing that, because she told me she wanted to do a few things with artists, and I originally, to be honest, the idea came in actually from Jera, from
Georgie, I remember her. Yeah.
So it was from a chat with her that she came around the idea and stuff like that. But then she wanted to do more of an urban proper night, but
Yeah.
with that, it's a Bola, which is a nightclub. You can't really do an urban night. So I adapted the idea basically, and then joined forces with
Micah, yeah.
to help me on the artist side of things. So I don't really know the guys much.
Yeah.
She knows most of them. She knows a lot of artists I don't know, because there's a lot of guys on the ground that are really good. They got a good following and everything. So yeah, we started helping them, get a little bit more known, give them a little bit of a stage, a platform where they can get themselves known to people that would not normally listen to their music.
It's true.
Because they go to Bola Ocho for a party. So a lot of them are not into underground artists, but it gives them a platform for these people that will never hear them to actually listen to them. And obviously for us as well, it works out well, because obviously they bring their following, they bring their crowd, which they always support and stuff like that. So it's a win-win situation really, to do that night, and obviously knowing that we're helping each other, stuff like that is great.
It's true.
So
And it's not only is it because this place is pretty much open almost 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like during the day is obviously a pool. We've got the pool table. I was there and there was table tennis as well.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun to do something during the day. It's just kind of hidden. But not a lot of people know that. And you should know that, by the way. Just saying, that you can go during the day.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that we open during
You
the
guys
day.
sell
Sports
snacks.
bar stuff,
Yeah, you guys sell snacks of all kinds and stuff like that. I used to go there a lot with my friend, and we went there recently. We just started playing pool because we were next door in Ricardo.
Yeah.
We had eaten too much.
Yeah.
So we were like, we need something to go down. But what was I going to say? There was a time as well where I remember I set up a meeting with Film Locos, because that's also a place. Because I've always said that Bola Ocho is kind of, it's like a must place to go. If you're Latin, you have to go there to experience the night.
It's a bit of a melting pot.
Yeah, it's
for
a
Latinos.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it's like whenever I take my foreign friends there, it's like, oh, I feel like I just went to another country. It's a completely different feeling. They're like, at first they're like, what is this? I don't like this. I'm scared and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, sit down, drink. Tenga la campana here. Bang this. Ding, 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 ding. Look at the girls, blah, blah, do whatever. And then they end up loving it at the end. They're like, wow, you know what? I need to come back.
Yeah.
So it's always definitely a different environment, but I also enjoy the fact that people have filmed there as well.
Yeah.
And they're making little short stories in there. Like I've seen recently that Patrick was in a little short film.
Yeah.
And they filmed there, didn't they?
They filmed it there, yeah.
That was really
There's
cool.
things like that, collaborations like that I like to do, because like I said, if we can help each other, why not? We should, more prioritize our community all the time. I always think that.
Definitely. You've had challenging nights there as well, haven't you?
Second?
You've had challenging nights there as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What was your most difficult night you've had? Aside from the pandemic one.
To be honest, the worst night that I've had there in terms of headache problems, things like that, it was the only New Year that we've opened.
You guys don't open in New Year?
No, we don't open New Year's. No, New Year's Eve we don't open. No.
But you know you celebrate.
Yeah. We rather, it's a night that our staff can go out, enjoy themselves. They're obviously working every weekend at night, and that night is something that at the end of the day works out better for us not to open, because that one time we opened, it was a bit hectic. I mean, Elephant is a difficult area, let's say for what's around and the people that are around and stuff. Obviously, there's very nice people around the area as well, but it's a bit of a difficult area. And on New Year's Eve night, I don't know why, but this is like, even from when I used to run number one and stuff like that, it's a night where people go out and it's like
mayhem.
Yeah, it's like there's no tomorrow.
Oh.
Like people go out on a mad one, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't understand it.
There's no more rules.
No,
That's
I
it.
really don't understand that. But people go crazy. People get too drunk. People start doing, madness. Yeah. So we opened that night, and there was a general manager. I remember there was me and my business partners as well. So it was like 4 of us running the night.
Yeah.
On top of it, there was 2 extra securities on that night. However, there was problems in the smoking area. There was problems in the inside. There was problems on the outside. There was
the whole building.
There was people going crazy. To be honest, I don't know what that night has, but it's always been the one night that I do not like to work.
Okay, so after that you're like,
because
no more.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. So to avoid issues, I mean, it's a win-win situation, because we avoid issues first, because it's a bit of too crazy night. And then, obviously, our staff, they get to go out, enjoy the Christmas Eve. And to be honest, in our industry, that's a night that most guys, when they're working night times, they know 31st December you're working.
Yeah.
So it's a plus.
Yeah, it is a plus. I used to.
If you're
work
working behind the bar but on the 31st December,
Yeah.
you're off and you can just go out, enjoy yourself, your New Year's Eve, enjoying all the madness outside.
That's true. That's true.
You know, be on the other side of the fence. So yeah, we decided we don't open.
That's
Yeah,
actually
New Year's
really
Eve.
nice, man.
Yeah.
I wish I worked there. When I used to be a bartender as well. I was a bartender for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, New Year's was just like the must to do. My worst experience was it Oktoberfest? Because I used to work in, what is it, Hand and Lettuce or something like that.
Slug and lettuce.
Slug and Lettuce.
Yeah.
No, not Slug and Lettuce. I don't know. Hand and Flour. There you go.
Okay.
For a Fuller's pub.
All right.
And it's in Kensington somewhere. And it's right in front of Kensington Olympia.
Okay.
And that's where they have the kind of, what is it? They have like these demonstrations. They always have events in that big space. And then they have like this beer event there. So everyone's getting drunk there. They have a break and they come to us.
Mad.
We just get destroyed. There's so many kegs I've had to change, but I loved it. But at the same time, everyone around me was having a miserable time. I'm like, I don't know what you're getting. This is easy. This is all right. I get to talk to people. Everyone's rude, but I'm like, yeah, I'll be rude back. But it's cool. It's just a bit of banter. No, but that is the lifestyle here.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm actually happy that you had that bit. You've got basically a lot of hospitality experience.
Yeah.
in the
Quite a few
limelight.
years.
How are you finding? Like, is this the first restaurant that you?
No,
Right
when we had number one bar, basically the downstairs was a restaurant, and then we turned into a nightclub. But in the restaurant, we had different things. We rented it out first, then we rented out just the kitchen, then we operated the kitchen ourselves for a couple of years. So yeah, I had quite a bit of experience there with restaurants, and it's the food, dealing with food is difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's a bit of a headache. Drinks is the best thing ever, but
Yeah,
food is
they don't go off. That's what I was thinking. That's the one thing I'll be worried about. It's about
literally food is so much more work and a lot less profit. So it's no ideal, isn't it? Like you want more profit and less work, but no, food is the other way around.
okay,
Always. So that's why food is difficult.
it's hard to calculate on a weekly basis, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, and yeah, with Sazon, we had an initial idea of working out in a certain way with renting out the kitchen, stuff like that. But then we decided, we have to do it ourselves, and we just developing now the next menu. That we're gonna be changing menus every 3-4 months latest.
Yeah.
So
I think this would be good to explain the concept either way, where it's like Sazon, the idea of it, and just correct me if I'm wrong, is they change the menu every 3 months, so it's kind of like a seasonal thing, and it changes country-wise where it comes from.
Well, basically, what we're gonna do is we don't change as most restaurants with the seasons of winter, summer, stuff like that. We change it more in terms of like what's the style of cuisine that we're gonna be doing, but it's all around Latin America, because obviously our brand is Sazon, which our slogan is Season Latin Culture. So it's all about our Latin culture, obviously we only play Latin music in the venue. The decoration in the venue is paintings from a Colombian artist at the moment.
Nice,
but that's also going to be changing, over every few months or whatever. We'll collaborate with different artists. Our drinks are mainly based in Latin American concepts, so it's all for us. It's all about rum, tequila, cachaça, pisco. Our drinks, our culture. So it's the same with the food. We at the moment we are doing a Dominican Sazon. However, that's what's going to be changing now, and we're going to be changing the base Sazon of what we do basically every 3 or 4 months. But it's always going to be kept Latin. So our cuisine will be traveling. Basically, the food that comes from Peru, from Ecuador, from Central America. Brazil at some point will be touching as well. So that's the idea, basically, not to bring our cuisine to the British public in general. That's what we're aiming for.
It's easier because I've been to the restaurant a few times and I noticed that it's not just Latinos going there. It's quite nice to see different.
It's a very mixed clientele.
So I was like, oh yes. It's needed because what I feel like happens a lot, and especially in Elephant and Castle, not too much now. I think now it's doing better because of the regentrification that's happening. Is that it's quite intimidating for, say, anyone who's not from the culture to walk in there and just to try the restaurants out. That's kind of ideas. I think it's easier for people, but not everyone just goes in there and experiments.
Yeah, definitely. I guess for British public, it's a little bit, like you said, it feels a little bit intimidating because they go into an area where it's literally just Latinos around.
Yeah.
Right? There is the Latin shop, there is the Latin bakery, there's the Latin restaurant. It's so Latin, and
Yeah.
a little bit of like, oh,
Even I get intimidated
Where do I go
sometimes.
in? Like, which store do I go into?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, I guess it'd be intimidating for them, but yeah, for us, our concept is basically Latin culture in all senses for the British public in general. So that's what we bring in.
I got a question for you. Now, this is completely out of topic now. Maybe it's not, but it's just more like I need your idea and input on this. For some reason, I've always had this idea. It's like, why isn't like La Empanada franchised, like as a fast food or even as like a quick meal thing?
What
You know how
mean?
you can get a Jamaican patty
Yeah, yeah.
in Asda or something like that.
Oh,
anyway, you know what I
okay.
mean? I was like, why isn't there an empanada version of this, or
Well,
even like just a fast food empanada joint?
To be honest, now that you ask about it, I just think maybe somebody hasn't tried to go into the market like that.
Right.
I think it has the potential as a product itself. Like you said, like the Jamaican patties, for example.
Same
You know,
thing.
it has the potential to be mass produced and to go into like big chain supermarkets and stuff like that. And now with the amount of Latinos in London, I mean, I've seen harina pan in a Tesco,
Yeah.
or Asda at some point. So there is Latin products that are being brought
Yeah, to the
into
main
these big chains now because there is a huge community of Spanish-speaking South Americans and Spanish as well.
one.
So I think just because nobody hasn't taken the
initiative.
the initiative of doing it.
Just
So-
playing the idea because I know how much you like doing.
yeah, no,
Actually, that's a good
the opportunity is there. The opportunity is there. I'm sure if somebody goes into it
Deeply,
properly
yeah.
with a proper plan and things like that. You know, one of the things I think why a lot of Latin things don't get developed in the UK is because we are lacking a lot of education
Eso sí.
in terms of business, in terms of
Support him almost, yeah.
entrepreneurship.
Interpartnership.
No,
Like Interpol.
no, like the instruction of being an entrepreneur and learning and
Right, yeah.
all that side of things. A lot of Latinos lack that. Like, I've noticed that because I've had a lot of people come around and ask me, which I do for a lot of people and obviously for the public. Anyone needs some help with like setting up a company, things like that. Like I help quite a lot of people in that sense because I know they don't have that knowledge and sometimes they're looking for like how do I start this? I've got an idea and I want to develop it, but I give what I can of my knowledge to other Latinos to help them get there. But a lot of people sometimes they don't know how to take their idea from A to B basically.
I see.
As a company,
And then they just stop there.
as a business structure. So yeah, at some point they just go like, oh well, fuck it, I don't know how to do it. I'm just gonna drop it, or they do it in the wrong way and then it don't work out.
And then they stop. The whole point, I guess, is like you fail, you keep going until you get it right. Well.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot missing in that sense of, how to set up your business, how to do, sort of like business things.
Yeah. I mean, you're quite connected with quite a few. I mean, there was a point, I think we had a conversation where you said you had like an annual meeting, I think, with a lot of people, a lot of business owners who are Latin.
Yeah,
What
there
was
is.
that again?
So yeah, I'm also part of a company called LA United.
LA United. Okay.
Yeah, it's about I think it's about 100 or 100 and something partners in there.
Wow.
And most are business owners, some entrepreneurs. There is a lot of people from all different countries of South America, basically Latin America.
All based in the UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I understand it, they're all UK. That started in the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, yeah, it was one of my current business partners, William Pineda. He's got an accountancy. He's Colombian himself. And another gentleman called Bernardo, who has a wholesale distribution company for like Latin products.
Really?
Yeah. They started the idea of doing that, and the idea was again to bring together all the people in the community, like on the business side of things. So all the business owners, entrepreneurs, and all that, bring them together. And one of the things that company does is a gala dinner I think it's every November that they do it once a year.
Okay.
So,
I need to
I'm not sure what date is this year. I haven't looked into it. Maybe soon. I don't know because I've been very busy with the restaurant.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, they do it every year, and every year it's like 300-400 people and they're all business owners, so there is a big networking going on around it, stuff like that. So yeah, LA United, that's for example one company that's trying to bridge that gap of like the knowledge for people to know how to build businesses, things like that, and to try and bring entrepreneurs together. They do a lot of networking, things like that, to bring Latin business owners together. Yeah, because that's obviously a lot of people, like, you know, for example, sometimes they need an accountant, and they will just go to any accountant because somebody recommends it. But we have South American, you know, people that have accountancy firms, like, you know, a proper accountancy firm set up in the UK, charter accountants, stuff like that. But they don't know. So we can keep this kind of business amongst our community and help each other, basically. But if you don't know, you know,
you're just gonna,
then you just get whatever. You Google.
I think it's important to build awareness on that, especially around the more youth as well, because there's basically, in a few weeks I'm gonna be interviewing a couple young kids as well, Latin kids, who they're trying to start their own businesses, but they're a bit kind of, like you said, stuck in between that middle part where it's like starting it off to just being there, and they're asking me for advice, and I'm just like, I'll be honest, my friend. All I do is film and get paid. You know what I mean? Like, that's my business. Very simple, A to B. But obviously you guys want to do slightly more complicated stuff. I'm not saying my stuff isn't complicated, but it's just one of those things where it's like there's a lot of potential here. The only problem is, and I feel like this is just like a thing, I don't want to go too deep into it, where it's like an identity crisis thing where, like, young Latinos here identify more as British Latino, and then you got your slightly more, how do I say it, not freshy, los que vienen de la patria, and they come here, they learn the language, but they're still inclined with the Colombian or South American sense, where they're not as connected to the youth. And there's a bit of a separation there, because then we forget, we can actually go to someone here who knows or who's done this before us, instead of us thinking ignorantly and just being like, let me just try it because no one's going to help me. But
absolutely, there is a lot of there's a big gap there, you know, between what Latinos want to do in terms of business and actually getting there and not knowing how to get there, you know, and how to build it up and stuff like that. So there is, like I said, you know, one good option is this company, LA United, you know, that people can go to and they can find a little bit of guidance there. And people can always reach me as well whenever they need something.
You already got too many DMs, man. guess this.
Yeah, because I'll be mad on the weekends at night,
Man, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to get a bit more real about the situation. You know when you... You know cuánto pena me da a preguntar for guest list? You know how I hate doing that? That's why I'm always like, yo, what, do you need something else? You need some of my services or something like that. Because I always feel like, on a humble note, it's always like, if someone's doing you a favor, do some back as well. Just kind of just balance out the whole thing. I get it for promotional reasons as well. It's good to have people influential coming in.
One thing I've always done, and this is I've been doing for since we started the nightclub in Number One Bar, you know, people of our same industry, you know, like, you know, all the DJs, the promoters, you know, all of them, I always have an agreement with them, whether they do bring me customers or not, you know, regardless of that. I know they're also working the nights. I know it's difficult, and a lot of them, they come to Bola Ocho every weekend, you know, like 1, 2, 3 nights a week. So I know they're working on the same industry, DJing, promoting, bartending, whatever. So I do have agreements with most of them. Like, for example, the Latin artists as well. Any artist that comes to Bola Ocho, you know, if it's a UK famous artist, that we've had a few of them. For example, Western, you know, they came around at some point last year. And, you know, if these artists come around, you know, we always, you know, give them a complimentary entry for them and their manager or whatever. And at some point, I started thinking about it. I was like, well, you know, why don't we do this for our artists as well? You know, they're also artists. They may not be as big. Some of them are getting there. Some of them are a little bit further out. But, you know, I like for them to also feel that, you know, they are also artists and they should be treated like artists. So I give them that treatment. I put my little grain of sand, basically, you know, and collaborate towards what they're doing, you know, because I appreciate what they're doing as well. And a lot of them, do things also to help each other, to help the community, stuff like that. So yeah, for DJs, people in the industry, I mean, there is a couple of videographers like yourself that have worked with me in the past and stuff like that. So, there's always, I say always to them, whenever you come in, just, you let me know, because you're part of that selected group, basically.
That's good. Don't steal Ricardo over me. I'm kidding. Whoever you are, videographers. Nah, I'm kidding. Hey, did you ever see the episode of Juan and Patrick when we went to Bola?
Yeah.
You see that? That was complete mess. I don't get what happened. No. I'm a bit upset. I don't understand. People have said I was like, I've got no riz or whatever. I can't flirt or anything like that. I just don't understand, man.
I remember about 2 weeks ago, I was watching one of Patrick's video that he did. He did one of the reels that he did on TikTok.
Yeah.
About going to Bola Ocho, stuff like that. I was just watching it, just having jokes at it because it's just so funny. We're
planning to do a second episode. We're actually going to do it, but I want to do it properly now this time. I'm going. No, seriously, because I lost last time. I was like, no, I'm not having it. I wanted to ask actually. You see how maybe it's still too club sceney, but there is kind of like a little movement with the music right now. I don't know if you noticed it. I know how there's like people doing Latin house now. Yeah. There's a lot of Latin house events happening, and I feel like, considering where we are in England, house is pretty a big thing here.
That's big.
To combine the two together, it made sense. I've been to a few. I don't know if you know about Barbaro. I'm probably going to bring them on at some point.
Yeah.
But they've also started another event on Friday nights in Tropics called Vamos. Right. And they got the live percussion and saxophonist plays and stuff like that. I was wondering, do you think Bola will ever have one of those nights?
I'm not sure. I mean, we try to be very open in terms of the kind of music we play, as long as it's Latin, basically. We've had some DJs play guaracha, which is sort of like that electronic music. We've had some DJs play Latin house, but not that much. I think for what people expect when they go to Bola Ocho is more of a diverse night in terms of the music. They expect to hear a bit of everything. We used to be a little bit more salsa than anything else back in the day, say 2-3 years ago or before. But now we are pretty crossover. We pretty much give the freedom to the DJ to, as the night goes, they are artists as well. It's a very creative sort of job.
Sound mixologist.
So when you try to limit a creative person, things come out wrong. So to be honest, the only thing I say to the DJs is make the crowd happy.
Make them get up.
Because every night is different. There are some nights that are more bachata. There are some nights that are more reggaeton. There are some nights that are more salsa. It really depends, And I think you need to let a creativity person create, And that's where, in Bola Ocho, we let them do that. And to be honest, all the DJs that play with us, they do a pretty good job and keep people happy, which is the main thing. So, at some point, some of these DJs might start playing some Latin house as well. No problem. Now to do an actual theme night with just Latin house, I don't think it will be sort of like, what we normally do. I don't think we will do that. But I've seen, I know the guys from Barbaro as well. I know Pipe Ramos very well.
Yeah, cool guys.
Quite close to me. I mean, when they started back in 2020 with the pandemic.
They started
when they started. I was around them, and one of my business partners, Vivian, she was around with them when they started the whole Barbaro thing and everything. So I've known the group, and they've done very well. But I'm very happy for them because they've definitely grown the brand to now a very good high standard. So those kind of things, I'm really happy to see. That's what I like to see in our community.
That's good.
People come up with new ideas, develop them, take them to the top, and now I hear they get called to go and play here, there, but outside of the UK as well, stuff like that. So that's good.
Oh, we'll just wait until it becomes a festival and then be like,
at some point,
cool. One point, hopefully. That
would be great.
I feel like it's a new genre of music, but still needs to. I thought, this is a great time for the artists, the singers and all that stuff, to get involved with those DJs, make something new there.
Absolutely,
because that might be.
That's the one thing we need to make sure we keep doing in our community. That Like I know that you've been a bridge as well into different like artists, DJs, events, venues, things like that, and we need to try and keep doing that, And the one thing I always say to people is just if you help the community grow, at some point this comes back around to you as well, and it helps you as well. It's it's an indirect result of helping the community grow. We all grow with
That's
it.
true.
So we need a lot more people doing that. A lot more people, and then that's gonna work out well for everyone.
I got a question for you.
Tell me.
Okay. Well, I've got two. I've got a few. But either way, I'm going to start with one. Maybe I'll start with the first one. So what's your hopes and aspirations for, like, Sazon? Do you think you'll turn it into, like, a franchise? Or?
To be honest, our plan right now is obviously take Sazon to the top here in London, With the one location we have, we are shaping up what's left to shape up of the brand itself to make sure we structure it properly. We started with an idea, but that's a developing sort of idea. So we want to make sure these next 6 to 8 months we finish shaping that up, and then that's pretty much when I'm going to start again, where we resume the plans I have in Dubai, and hopefully we hope to take the brand to Dubai after that.
I'm going with him. Just saying, I'm going to go with him. I need to do business in Dubai too. I'm going to go find a prince to go film, and that's it.
It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, I need to go.
Very nice. Yeah.
What was I going to ask? I was like, here's one fun question, man. It's like, what have you always wanted to do? Even say like there was no rules, you could do whatever you wanted to do. What's the one thing you wanted to do in Bola? Like, as an owner, what you wanted to do as a party wise, or any particular thing that you'd be like, that would be amazing if we could do it here.
To be honest, I think we've done what I wanted to do.
You're too humble. You're too humble, God. Which was what?
I mean, when I started doing it, to be honest, what I wanted to do is to. You see how now we put in all of our flyers, the home of British Latinos.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted Bola Ocho to become, the home of British Latinos. Like I wanted it to become that place that all Latinos know, that all Latinos heard of. And not just in London, but also outside of London. I've been to places in Spain, in Italy as well, where I've met Latinos and stuff like that, and they've heard of Bola Ocho. So for me, that's like, wow, man.
Achievement there.
Yeah, it's like checked. That's, we've nailed it. We've done it, They've heard about us. They when they come to London, they're like, take me to Bola. I've got friends that sometimes they're like, listen, my friends are coming from abroad, from whatever, and as soon as they come, I'll let you know because I'm gonna take them Bola Ocho. So for me, that's what I wanted Bola Ocho to become, to become that place where Latinos can go to enjoy themselves, have an amazing time, and just be themselves. That's pretty much what I wanted to build, and that's where we are. That's what we managed to build. So now it's just a matter of keeping it going.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. When are you gonna retire with this? You need to sleep, that.
yeah. At some point, I'm definitely gonna be taking a step back, but not yet.
Not yet. No. Oh, there's Dubai. There's more nights style.
Definitely, still a few more nights there.
Damn.
In me.
But when was the last time you went back to Colombia?
To be honest, I've only been there once.
You already been there once?
Since I came here 20 years ago, yeah. I mean, my
my
mom's here, my sister's here, my kids are here.
The family's
this is home.
No point,
I mean, I love my country, I love my people.
Yeah.
I love our culture, I'll never forget that. I'm always as humble as possible because I know where I come from, basically. I don't forget that, But this, now, Britain is home, I'm used to this lifestyle here. I'm used to the peace that we live in Britain, basically, even though with all the issues that are going on and whatever. But
we love the weather here now. The rain gives us more.
Funnily enough, at some point when you are away from London, you do kind of miss that a little.
It's true.
Yeah, you do. If you're in a place that's too hot, you're like,
I need some cold. I need
to be in London. A little bit of rain, a little bit of cold weather.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, when I was in Dubai a couple of months ago, I was like, no, this is too much heat.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. I feel like your body gets accustomed to the weather here, because I know my body heats up now for the cold.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm in a hot country, I hate it, man.
Yeah.
I'm like sticky. My clothes ain't for it either.
It took me a few days to get used to the hot weather over there again, because it was like too much. I was like, why is that cold now? I need some wind.
Yeah. I need a bit of rain. Just calm me down, man. This is too much.
Literally.
These cocktails ain't working right now.
Yeah, for me here is homely.
Yeah?
You know.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. I mean, it's 20 years now here.
Yeah.
When I went to Colombia, it was only for a month. I'm planning to go back at some point, you know, but mostly to travel, you know.
Yeah, because that's one thing I haven't done.
Yeah,
I haven't discovered Colombia at all.
Yeah. Mostly for me is to go back, travel, you know, see the family a little bit, but mostly just to travel and that. So at some point.
Okay. Damn, look at him. He's got his hands in his pocket all over the place. I think... Damn, that was a good sense of conversation.
That was pretty quick. That was pretty quick.
Right? Okay, about... Well, this is more of a free reign moment. I've got probably 10 minutes, 9 minutes left.
Okay.
Is there anything at all you want to say to either me or to public? Anything at all? That's right, deep thinking.
Well, to be honest, I mean, that comes to my head quickly is, I want to thank everyone, you know, the public there that have been to Bola Ocho or have come to Sazon, to my restaurant, to support what we're doing. I really appreciate it. I'm very thankful of that. The one recommendation I say to everyone, you know, to everyone out there watching this video, is, you know, keep working with the community. You know, we need to push each other. We need to, you know, work with each other. We need to try and move away from the differences that sometimes, because of media or whatever, you know, it starts dividing us. But yeah, man, we just need to, you know, work with each other. The greater our community becomes and the stronger it gets, the better it's going to be for all of us. You know, and this go down to political things, financial things, opportunities wise, everything. You know, any ideas that people have to create a new business, you know, always see, you know, can I work with the community? Can I bring this into the community as well?
Yeah.
Can I profit if I start doing it with Colombians, with Bolivians, with Peruvians, with Mexicans, you know, whatever.
Everyone, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Latinos now we're fashionable, you know, estamos de moda.
Yeah.
So everything to do with our Latin culture is big everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to you know, take the opportunity and work with our Latinos to bring our culture in whatever way we bring it to the public, you know, and obviously we can create businesses of that and obviously thrive on that wave. So that's what I always say to people, you know, it's just, you know, let's keep pushing, let's keep helping each other.
Make peace.
Yeah.
Make a lot of peace.
Absolutely.
You've advised me one time to make peace. I'm
Peace
like,
and
you know
love.
what? I had to do that. I've had to do that.
Peace and love. a lot of times, you know, it's okay to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I always say to people. I don't agree with what everyone does. Maybe a lot of people don't agree with what I do, but I always say to people, you know, it is okay to agree to disagree. You know, we don't need to take it to heart. We don't need to go against each other, things like that. Okay, that's fine. You know, if you think that's black, I think it's white. Well,
that's it.
Let's just
move forward.
Disagree. Yeah,
let's go over that line.
Yeah, let's just move forward and work on something else, something that we do agree on. Maybe, you know, so just find a way to make things happen and to make things work. That's my message to everyone out there.
Oh, and with those words, ladies and gentlemen, Ricardo, thank you very much for coming to the show.
Juan, my pleasure.
Patrick thanks you from America. Hi, Patrick. Whatever. Hi. He's going to be so jealous that I did this.
This is the first time I've done it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not good in the camera.
Wow, man. Well, you did pretty well. And I think this is important to kind of document, you know, people in our community to do this stuff, you know, because it's almost like, look, we know you, but we don't know you, you know?
Definitely.
And you just gave us a lot of insight. You were vulnerable to us over the camera for a while, which is great. But thank you so much for coming. I know this was planning it last minute, but thank you for coming through. He's a very busy man, just letting you know. He's a very busy man.
A little bit. Mostly Wednesday to Sundays.
Oh, there you go. That's the whole week. Anyways, thank you, everyone, for coming to the show. This is the Juan and Patrick show without Patrick. But
no
with
Patrick
Ricardo
today.
now. With no Patrick today. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Cheers.
Camera.